Hello, everybody. I'm Jeremiah. This is going to be my senior capstone proposal. Bit of an overview of myself. As I said, I'm Jeremiah Santos. I'm a four-year student from the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. I graduated from Kapolei High School in 2019, and my program of study is in creative media with a concentration in design and media. For our executive summary, today I'll be covering my thesis statement, my objective/rationale of the research conducted, plans for my senior capstone project, and I'll be addressing the significance of my proposed project with my research. To start, my thesis statement is in regards to the academic achievement gap. The academic achievement gap between young male and female students is apparent. Potential contributors include biology, relationships, and self-esteem, and potential solutions are few, and I will go into why that is later. My objective/rationale, truth be told, a bit of context. I was actually running out of time to pick a topic earlier this semester, and a memory came up where when I graduated from Kapolei High School, on the stage, there were 26 students with 4.0 and higher. Out of those 26 students, there were only 3, including myself, that were male. And so my rationale for why I chose this topic was to find out why this academic achievement between genders differed significantly, because 23 to 3 for 4.0s in the school is, from female to male, is pretty significant to me. And this eventually led to more questions of what exactly did the gap look like, what contributed to it, and how could it be solved. So my senior capstone plan, final goal of my senior capstone next semester is to survey college students age 18 to 21 about my age to find out if the gap exists based off their past performance and experience in high school. And the final deliverable will consist of a website and infographic displaying the interpreted data. I'll go more into that later. Okay, significance. So this is where I'll be going into more of my research. First, I'd like to define what this actually means, the academic achievement gap. So what is the gap? The gender gap is the noticeable difference in ability or any aspect that is influenced primarily by the difference in gender between males and females. Academic achievement is defined as the extent to which a student showcases proficiency in academia. Now, this is typically shown in things like grades, marks, test scores, stuff like that. And so combined, the academic achievement gap between male and female students is the defined difference in academic proficiency among male and female students. So simply just combining those two terms. So this is some data on how this is some data I researched defining how the academic achievement gap looks like. So this first graph, this is a study on GPAs for male and female students from 1990 to 2009. As you can see, as time has gone on, the average of GPAs has gone higher, but those circles and green lines is representing female students. And there's this consistent gap between female male students and averages as time has gone on. And that's just for averages. Valedictorians, this is going to be the top of the class. The title is given to the graduating high school student with the highest grade point average in the senior class. And then a study from years 2003 to 2005, there was a sample size of 150 valedictorians. And from that sample, it was observed that there were more female valedictorians than male. The exact number is 87 to 63, meaning that 58%, or basically 60% of valedictorians from the sample size are female. So on both sides, whether it is the average GPAs or the higher percentile students, including valedictorians, there seems to be this trend of females outperforming male students. Now we go to the contributors. In my research, this issue has many facets, so I was not able to cover every aspect of it, but there are various factors that have steadily worked together to form the gap, and these are a few that I've researched. These include biological differences between male and females, relationships between students and teachers, and self-esteem in male and female students. To start, biology. Differences in biology lead to differences in behavior. This is a study from Stanford by Bruce Goldman, and he defined differences in males and females to be things like the X and Y chromosomes, sex-specific hormones like testosterone and estrogen, bodily growth, brain structures. And so when we look at the average human being, females outperform males in comprehension and writing ability, fine motor coordination, perceptual speed, and long-term memory retrieval. On the other hand, males' spatial skills are superior, meaning they are better at perceiving spatial relations of objects. This is more tactile stuff or visual imagery. So because of how the traditional classroom works, where success in it is more reliant on recalling information for exams and more than visual experiences or hands-on application, this can be seen as a reason why these differences in biology and how brain structures work and how male and females have different strengths also affects this, also influences this gap between them. The second topic I covered was relationships. By relationships, I mean specifically the gender of the teacher can have an effect on student performance. So this is the relationship between the students and their teachers. The Organization for Economic Cooperation Development, OECD, provides global statistics and collected information on over 30 countries. In their data set from 2020, with 30 plus countries, 55 to 85% of the overall population of educators in each country were female. This ranged from elementary school all the way to college students. There was another study done, and elementary school students and their academic achievement observed in the study confirmed that the gender combination between teacher and students does have some influence on the students' academic success. Namely, female pupils have better school achievement when taught by women, and male pupils perform better when they are taught by men. So we put these things together. With the majority female population of educators are likely giving female students the advantage over male students because of the relationships between them. If it comes down to a female student doing better, if a female student learns more from a female teacher and a male student learns more than from a male teacher, because the overall population is mostly female in regards to educators, the issue comes where males aren't learning, aren't in classes where male teachers are more present. So females are more present. My final contributor that I researched was self-esteem. To define it, self-esteem differences between male and female students may lead to differences in academic achievement. Self-esteem itself is the belief and confidence in one's ability and value on the basis of their life, achievements, abilities, and other interpersonal factors. And this is a quote from the American Psychological Association. Self-esteem and perceived confidence are necessary for students to take risk in the learning and to bounce back after failure or adversity. Low self-esteem or lack of confidence leaves students doubting their ability to succeed, making them hesitant to engage in learning or take appropriate academic growth risks. Basically, what that's saying is that when a student has more self-esteem, it's more likely for them to be academically successful. The issue with this this topic as well is, if you look on the right, this is a graph showing the development of self-esteem in males and females. And so it turns out within the age range of 12 and about 20, so like when children are becoming adults and going through school, the average self-esteem is measured to be higher in males than females. And so the difference in self-esteem between male and female students is clear, but it is unlikely it contributes to the gap, seeing as males generally have higher self-esteem than females throughout high school. So this was one of those things where I researched and I tried to figure out to see if I could have any, there was any effect on this, but because of data showing that males are having higher self-esteem despite having lower grades, this was one of those things, this was one of those topics where I hit a roadblock of like, I'm not sure if this is actually contributing to the gap. Okay, and where does this leave my proposal? So my target audience for my proposal is actually going to be educators. The intent is to inform this audience about this issue as to raise awareness to the population that has the most potential of influencing change. If educators are aware of this, they are more likely to be able to see this as an issue and then also tune their classes to help male students who are falling behind their female peers. And so my proposed solution, going back to my thesis real quick, the reason why I say it's few, if we go to those three contributors I mentioned, self-esteem is out the window because it's unlikely it contributes. The relationships between students and their teachers is also kind of out the window because in order to fix that, in a sense, we would basically be forcing more men to be educators, which just isn't reasonable. And the third one, biology, would just simply be getting classrooms to be tuned to male student strength in the visuospatial, so hands-on and visual learning. And so my proposed solution is less of a solution because I have no reasonable way of trying to solve this issue. But what I can do as a designer is to raise awareness with my skills. So my solution is raising awareness of the gap to educators via use of visual design in both an interactive website and an infographic displaying interpreted data from a survey on college students ages 18 to 21. And my preparation process, essentially, my pre-production is going to consist of designing the survey. It's likely to be via email. I've been learning a lot from an internship on how to do campaigns, email campaigns. So that's going to be a lot of the pre-production, getting my sample size, getting access to students 18 to 21, whether it's not just the University of Hawaii, but other universities across the world, just trying to get the information, getting them to answer the surveys, getting that data. Production is going to consist of compiling that data, analyzing, interpreting it, what it means, and setting up the website and infographic or flyer. And the post-production will be finalizing the website, any kinks here and there, make sure everything is visually okay, everything is working properly. And for the post-production, a lot of the website's also going to be done in WordPress. So it's going to be moving from just a design doc of what the website will look like to post-production, actually getting it up and running. And then also creating an infographic and actively going out to educators that I know, both personally and maybe even within the university, so they can be aware of this subject as well. And so the final deliverables, this is a very just skeleton example. On the left is an email survey. It's very simple. I plan to do something similar for students, is a simple questionnaire like, hey, when did you graduate high school? What was your GPA? How did you feel about it? Stuff like that. The infographic is going to be one of the ways I compile and visually convey the interpreted data I get from this survey. And then the final deliverable and the hardest part is going to be the website. This is an example from MailChimp. They have an annual report every year. This is from 2020. There's an interactive site where you can go through it, where tons of information is being given to you in a way that's visually pleasing and in a way that informs the audience of what exactly is going on, specifically for MailChimp with their emails. On mine, it would be informing the audience of the academic achievement gap between males and female students based off the data I gain next semester. And that will be the end of my presentation. Thank you.